She knows that being a woman automatically makes her prone to defects like kindness, compassion, pity, and these are the things which are going to stop her from deciding against Duncan's life. Hello and welcome back to Nibblepop. We are continuing with our textual reading of Macbeth, and today we are going to take up the fifth scene of first act. I'm sorry, because of some sickness I could not make videos for a couple of days, so I'm a little bit late in publishing this video. I'm sure all of you are healthy and well, and I'm doing fine now, and I hope that there will not be any more delays in future. So thank you for being with me, and if you haven't yet subscribed, please do so to support us. And now let's begin the text. You see, when we talk about Lady Macbeth, we talk about what Shakespeare invented, because Shakespeare's source in case of Macbeth is primarily Holinshed. He was an historian, and from Holinshed, Shakespeare took most of his material. But in Holinshed, it was only hinted that Macbeth was somehow influenced by his wife, which helped him feel determined to kill the king. But no additional information is given in Holinshed. Shakespeare took that information and transformed it into a full-fledged, beautifully demarcated character study. And we see the first glimpse of Lady Macbeth in the fifth scene of first act. So this scene is very important. It gives us an insight into the character of Lady Macbeth and also an idea about the relationship which Macbeth had with his wife. The scene is set in Inverness, which is Macbeth's castle, and Lady Macbeth, she enters the stage reading a letter which her husband had sent her, and she is quoting from that letter. "They met me in the day of success." So this letter is written by Macbeth to his wife, and the word "they" refers to the witches. So Macbeth has given the details about his meeting with the witches and their prophecies to his wife. "They met me in the day of success." Success means Macbeth was victorious that day. He had won the war. "And I have learned by the perfectest report, they have more in them than mortal knowledge." Mortal knowledge means the knowledge which human beings have. So somehow Macbeth wants to convince his wife that these women about whom he is writing, he is not mentioning the word witches yet. So these women, they possess some kind of knowledge which is beyond human knowledge. "When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air," which means they vanished, "into which they vanished, whilst I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor." So while he was waiting impatiently in a distracted way, then the messengers from the king, the missives from the king, they came and greeted him as the Thane of Cawdor. "By which title before these weird sisters saluted me." So the word or the phrase which Macbeth uses is weird sisters. So weird sisters had greeted him with the title Thane of Cawdor, and then when he was greeted by the same title by the king's men, he got convinced that these witches, they are prophetic. They are speaking the truth. "And referred me to the coming on of time with," and they continued their greeting with, "Hail King that shall be." So that prediction is the focus of this letter. "This have I thought good to deliver thee." Deliver thee means to inform you, give you this information. I thought it was wise on my part to share with you this information. Why? Because he thinks that she is my dearest partner of greatness. So this kind of bond between Athene and his wife, or a nobleman and his wife, especially if you look at the time in which it was taking place, this was a unique thing. Usually women were assigned secondary roles, and we hardly see such bonding between the man and wife as we see in case of Macbeth. So this is a very unique relationship that we are looking at. It is more a spiritual bond that we are witnessing here. That thou mightst not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. So he wants Lady Macbeth to know what kind of greatness or what great future is awaiting her now that she is going to be the Queen of Scotland. Lay it to thy heart and farewell. So this was the content of the letter. Now comes Lady Macbeth's reaction, analysis. Okay. She is thinking about the words that Macbeth has written. Glamis thou art, and cawdor. So you are these two things which the witches have stated. And shall be what thou art promised. So she's kind of trying to put a seal of legitimacy to the prophecy that the witches have made. Yet, do I fear thy nature? So what is the problem here? She knows that the problem in this case for the prophecy to get fulfilled is Macbeth himself. She knows more than others the true nature of Macbeth, and she is worried that he is not strong or strong-willed enough to do things that he's supposed to do to make sure that the prophecy gets fulfilled. Yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness. Now, human kindness can mean two things. One is Macbeth is full of kindness, which is a quality of being human. And on the other hand, he is full of the qualities which constitute humankind. So from both perspectives, she is talking about the humane aspect of Macbeth, the kind-hearted nature of Macbeth, which might stop him from doing something radical in this case. Thou would be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. Now there are two kinds of ambitions. One kind where a person has a desire and works hard to fulfill it, that's ambition. And there is this second kind of ambition which Lady Macbeth wants Macbeth to have. The ambition which, turns a blind eye to every other feeling or emotion. The kind of ambition which does not hesitate to do everything, to make every compromise with one's value system. So that ambition is what Lady Macbeth wants Macbeth to have, but he does not have, according to her. What thou wouldst highly, what you desire highly, that wouldst thou holily. Holily means in a sacred way, in a morally approvable way. So whatever Macbeth wants in life, he wants it in the right way, following the codes of morality. Would not play false and yet would wrongly win. But she knows that if something happens and he gets something in a wrong way, he doesn't mind that, So there's a kind of a duality in Macbeth, a weakness in Macbeth which Lady Macbeth identifies and thinks about. Thou'dst have great Glamis, that, so you would have that, which cries, thus thou must do, if thou have it. So, I know the diction here, the language here is a bit complicated. What she is trying to tell is that Macbeth's desire and Macbeth's actions always don't go hand in hand. Okay, so whatever he wants to get in life, those things do not come easily following the moral principles. So there is a kind of hypocrisy in Macbeth, which Lady Macbeth is aware of. That which rather thou dost fear to do, whatever you are afraid of doing, than wishest should be undone. So you are afraid of doing something and then you end up doing it, and then you think that, oh, I wish it was undone. So this indecisiveness and at the same time somehow a weakness in Macbeth is a point of concern for Lady Macbeth here. And then she says, hie thee hither, come fast to me, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear. She knows that all Macbeth needs is a little persuasion, is a little encouragement, and she's going to add that element to him by pouring her spirit to his ears. And chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee. Chastise means to simply rebuke away, to remove from a road or a path. So in this case, she wants to eradicate everything from his mind, everything which stops him, impedes him from the golden round, the crown, which is a round shaped object and is usually golden. So here she knows that whatever Macbeth lacks, she can provide. So here we see a kind of a partnership, a kind of a complementary relationship where Macbeth's bravery is complemented by the will, the energy, and the enthusiasm of his wife. The golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid. So she believes that these weird sisters, these are agents of nature and they are metaphysical help. Okay. Doth seem to have thee crowned withal. So he is already crowned according to the witches. All he has to do is do a little bit of work now, and Lady Macbeth is going to motivate him. So this whole speech, starting from reading the letter, this is again a soliloquy where this character, Lady Macbeth, she is alone on the stage and speaking to herself. Only the audience can hear her. There are no other characters on stage. And through this soliloquy, we get an insight into her character, that she is a very strong woman. She knows her husband very well, and she somehow feels that it's a duty to help Macbeth reach that level where, angels fear to tread. And Macbeth himself, he knew this. That's why he communicated the news about these prophecies to Lady Macbeth, because he probably felt that he needed this kind of persuasion, this kind of additional emotional support. After this, we see a messenger, a boy, he comes in and informs Lady Macbeth, the king comes here tonight. So the king who is planning to come, that news is given, and look at Lady Macbeth's reaction. Thou art mad to say it. I mean, okay, if you suddenly hear that the Prime Minister of India is going to come to your house, you are going to feel, surprised. You look surprised, but you don't say you're mad to say it, especially if you are also one of the very important ministers of the country, right? So why is Lady Macbeth giving this reaction? Because this statement, this news catches her off guard. You will see throughout this play, Lady Macbeth is caught off guard every now and then. She might look very brave. She might look very, determined and poised, but she is caught off guard too. And this is one moment where she's caught off guard. She knows that, okay, now something has to be done. It's no more speculation. It's not anymore on the level of imagination, but it's going to be a reality soon. And then she also manages to change her expression and ask about the details, and the messenger informs that Macbeth is also arriving. The messenger exits, and then Lady Macbeth continues with her soliloquy. The raven himself is hoarse, that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. The word raven refers to a black bird which resembles a crow, and often in Shakespeare we find that the word raven has ominous connections. Raven usually is associated with darkness, with evil design, and with mysterious aspects of nature which cannot be explained. Right. So although raven is a perfectly natural bird, using this word in this context adds a supernatural element to it. So you will see in Macbeth what Shakespeare does repeatedly. He uses natural imagery and transforms them into supernatural agents. This is the beauty of Shakespearean supernaturalism, that he doesn't actually give you any unnatural scenes. He gives you images, he gives you symbols which occur in the natural world, but their connotations change. He makes them sound supernatural. So Lady Macbeth feels that Duncan is going to come under her battlements. Now, battlements means castle. But when you use the word battlement, it has an additional dimension of warfare, as if this is the zone where Lady Macbeth is going to fight her battle. And Duncan is coming under her battlement now, under her power. And she knows that for this fight, being human is not at all desirable. Come, you spirits, she invokes, she prays. Whom does she pray to? Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts. She is invoking the aid of those spirits who control human emotions, who are the negative forces. And what does she want them to do? Unsex me here. She does not pray for them to kill Duncan. She does not pray for them to turn the situation more in their favor. She prays for her own transformation, because she knows that once her transformation is complete, all other difficulties will be vanished. Unsex me here. Why unsex? She knows that being a woman automatically makes her prone to defects like kindness, compassion, pity, and these are the things which are going to stop her from deciding against Duncan's life. She wants to be unsexed. And fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. So from her head to her toe, she wants to be filled with cruelty. Which means what? Which means that she is as human as Macbeth. She will be able to transform Macbeth, but who will transform her? So she needs these supernatural agents to help her cast off her womanliness. Make thick my blood. Why? Because she feels that blood is responsible of carrying emotions to the brain, to the heart. So if her blood is thick, then these feelings of guilt, they will not be, reaching the right places, and she will not feel guilty. Stop up the access and passage to remorse. Remorse means pity. She wants her blood to stop flowing so that she doesn't feel the guilt which she perhaps is already feeling without even committing the crime. that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose. Fell means cruel. Fell means something which is not honorable. She is herself calling her purpose fell, but she does not want to stop herself. And this is very ironical because what is she praying? She is praying so that she doesn't feel guilty. As the play will unfold itself, we will see how her prayers have actually been rejected. She had prayed to be less human, to be less sensitive. But we see that at the end of the play, she is affected more than any other character in the play. We will come to that later. And I would want you to underline this line, if you have the book with you. No compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose. Underline this line because later, much later, I am going to ask you to turn the pages and come right back here. Because this is the beauty of Macbeth. It will always make you go back, turn the pages, rewind. Because this is the dramatic irony of Macbeth. You don't understand the lines unless you have read up till the last of the play. It makes sense once you complete the whole thing. Come to my woman's breasts and take my milk for gall. Now there are controversial or conflicting views about motherhood when it comes to Lady Macbeth. Because when the play opens or when we see them, at that moment they do not have any children. But some of the records, they say that Lady Macbeth had a child, which might or might not be true. But right now, at this moment, she is childless. And somehow her desire to transform herself might also come from a depression that there is no milk in her. So let that be poison. So when there is no creativity, let there be destruction. So this kind of emotions might have been at play. We do not know that for certain. And let's look at what does she want here. You murdering ministers. She is addressing those spirits whom she is praying to. Wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Nature's mischief can be, the disasters of nature, the storms, the cyclones, the tornadoes, the earthquakes, or nature's mischief can be the disasters which man does, murdering somebody and destroying somebody's life. So those are also nature's mischief. So whenever there is any nature's mischief, these evil spirits are at work. Okay. Come thick night. So she wants everything to be darkened. And pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes. Why am I smiling here? You remember what Macbeth had said? That let not my eye look at what I'm doing. Because, the eye winks at the hand. She's saying the exact same thing here. That I don't want to see what I'm doing with my hand. My keen knife see not the wound it makes. This is why I call the bond between Macbeth and Lady Macbeth a spiritual connection. They speak in almost a telepathic unison. Whatever Macbeth says in one scene, Lady Macbeth, who has not heard him saying those things, she says the exact same thing. Or something which means exactly the same in the following or in the previous scenes. This means that they are in tune with each other. And even when they are not thinking about each other, they speak using the same kind of images. That my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold. So when heaven, it's like blanketing the earth, at that moment, nobody can stop her. So she's waiting for that dark night. It is similar to Macbeth's words, "Stars, hide thy fires." Okay. And right then, Macbeth enters. "Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both by the all hail hereafter. Thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present." This present time is an ignorant time because this time has not crowned them yet as kings and queens. So this is ignorant. The future is all-knowing. And I feel now the future in the instant. So she is able to go beyond this ignorant present to a knowledgeable future, that they are going to be powerful kings and queens. "My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight. And when goes hence? And when is he going to go back? Tomorrow, as he purposes." So he replies, giving her information about Duncan's schedule. And what does Lady Macbeth say? "Or never shall sun that morrow see." So there will be no such tomorrow where Duncan will be going back. And then when she says this, Macbeth's face turns white. Okay. "Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters." Macbeth's face is revealing the tension which he feels inside him. His face is like a book, and Lady Macbeth feels that if people start understanding what Macbeth is thinking right now, that might create a lot of problems for them. "To beguile the time, look like the time." So she is teaching him to put up an act, to look innocent, so that nobody can guess what is actually going inside their minds. "Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it." And we all know that serpents are not considered to be holy or sacred or innocent creatures in British literature. He that's coming, that is Duncan, must be provided for. Now, on one level, this means that Duncan is coming. We must provide, or we must make provision for his welcome. We must greet him. We must take care of him. And on the other level, it means he must be killed. So we see that Lady Macbeth is advocating duplicity in Macbeth. "And you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch." This is going to be my responsibility. Why does she do this? She does this because she knows that Macbeth needs every kind of persuasion, and if he has to arrange for the itineraries, arrange for petty details, he might be discouraged to do anything. So she wants to take care of everything. "Which shall to our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom." We will speak further. Macbeth gives her a short, curt reply. He is not showing as much enthusiasm as she is. "Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear." Favor means your facial expression. So if you change that, that is going to be our cause of concern, or else nothing will be any problem. "Leave all the rest to me." Now you might feel that Lady Macbeth is more enthusiastic about the whole thing. Macbeth is not. Yes, we will be discussing these things, but do not form any conclusions as yet. Let us go through the scenes which come after this, especially scene 7, which we will be doing after this. Then we will make our conclusions. Then we will have some more insights into what is actually going inside Macbeth's mind, because Lady Macbeth is more vocal. It is easier for us to judge her, to understand what her problems are. But Macbeth's problems are less prominent, and that requires a more careful approach. instead of just jumping into conclusion that Macbeth was innocent and Lady Macbeth egged him on. So we will come to these discussions as we go through the text more. And this is going to be our class today. Finally, we have finished the scene. If you have any problem in understanding anything, kindly let me know. I promise to be back with the next scene very soon. Hope you are all safe and happy. This is Monami Mukherjee signing off. Bye-bye.